powder room, a room that does not have windows. So that's where you want to be. We actually have a net in here, so there you go. And that's flying around. Hopefully there's no debris flying around here in Georgetown County. Go ahead and take that velocity scope off of there, Sonia. But we are looking at the rotation right there, right along Highway 17, and that's going to continue to move off to the north-northwest. There it is, moving very quickly. These are probably moving about 30 to 40 miles an hour.
35 miles per hour.
So about 30 to 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, so we've got this in effect till 6:15. They're saying capable of producing a tornado located near North Santee or just west of Georgetown. Moving north at 35 miles per hour.
Yep, so crossing Highway 17 right now, and this is 17A going out of Georgetown off to the west. So if you're in this area right there, that's where you need to take cover. So right around Graves, Spring Gully there, Kent. Please take cover, Moyd, get into your safe place. And when you get into your safe place, what you want to do is turn up the volume on your TV real loud so you can hear Sonia and I giving you instructions. So right now along Highway 17, just off to the west of Belle Isle Gardens, this is where the strongest of the storm is and our rotation. We've already seen a couple storms in South Carolina earlier today that have produced tornadoes down into Beaufort County, into extreme western Colleton County, toward Bamberg County. So these thunderstorms coming in off the ocean, what happens is when they're out over the ocean is a very smooth surface. So these thunderstorms can just cruise along. Once they hit land, they start to hit trees and houses and buildings, and they get friction. So that breaks the storm down and it starts to spin. And that's why we're seeing this rotation coming in off the Atlantic Ocean. We've got that crossing Highway 17 right now through central Georgetown County, and that's going to continue to push off to the northwest at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. So moving very quickly off to the northwest, and that's very typical of a tropical tornado. Now, tropical tornadoes are very different from the kind of tornadoes that you see occurring out on the plains. Those tornadoes are large wedge tornadoes that stay on the ground for maybe an hour or more. These are the kinds of tornadoes that come down, hit the ground for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then lift right back up. So the rotation there, it's pretty tough to see, but it is crossing Highway 17, right now headed up towards 17A through central Georgetown County. So we're watching that continue to push off to the north and west very quickly through central Georgetown County. So if you live south or west of Georgetown, you need to be in your safe place now with that thunderstorm producing a tornado which came in off the ocean. Now, fortunately, I think this is going to be a little bit of a break here once this band moves through, and we'll see a little bit of a lull through most of the evening. So go ahead and download our ABC News 4 weather app if you don't have it already, because that'll give you the watches and the warnings right to your phone. So if you had the ABC News 4 weather app and you live in Georgetown County, it would have let you know of this tornado as soon as the National Weather Service issued that warning. So that's going to continue to push off to the north and the west. Velocity scopes showing that there is rotation in that thunderstorm. And these start out over the ocean. We can watch them ahead of time, and then once they move inland, a lot of times that rotation breaks down, but sometimes it does translate inland, and we have seen these thunderstorms already today translate many, many miles inland. So we did see the one tornado that was back on the Bamberg and Colleton County line. That's on the other side of I-95. So some of these thunderstorms are making it pretty far inland with the tornado threat. So Georgetown County, not technically under the tornado watch, but they are under a tornado warning at this point. I want to go ahead and we'll take a larger view of the radar here.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at, Dave, look at this while you're over here real quick. See what you think. I switched over to the Wilmington radar over here. See if you think that's it right there.
So yes, that could actually, I think this is it right here.
You think that's it right there?
That's
We literally can't see it because it's in between the radar sites.
So it's off to the south of Georgetown there, crossing Highway 17 now. So it looks like it's off to the west of Highway 17 as we speak. And what I was talking about a little bit earlier, we're going to get a little bit of a break here. So this is that band that's been with us throughout much of the day. It's mainly from Charleston County up to the north, and we're seeing that tornado just off to the south and west of Georgetown. So that's going to continue to move off to the north and west. But see this? a little bit of a lull. There are a few showers and thunderstorms coming in off the Atlantic Ocean here, but there's quite a break here from Savannah down toward Brunswick and continuing even farther south down toward Jacksonville. So I think once we get a lot of this rain out of here over the next hour or two, we're going to have a pretty good break through much of the evening. And then as we head up toward midnight, I think some of the other bands will rotate in a little bit faster from the south and west, because we do have our hurricane right now still far, far away. It's all the way down in the Gulf of Mexico. So Georgetown County, you're still under that tornado warning, so still be in your safe place. But our hurricane is all the way down here, west of Tampa. So it's quite a ways away. And what's going to happen is we'll see this little bit of a break here. That's going to be working in later tonight. So we're going to have a break, and there you can see on one of our earth cams, I'm not exactly sure where that is. I would imagine it's somewhere down in Florida, but the very rough Gulf of Mexico there. And once this break comes in later tonight, we're going to see a break. But notice in this break, every once in a while, you'll have a band like this. A band like this. There's going to be another band back here. And with the spin around the hurricane, it'll just be pulling those bands in off the ocean. And these are what we're going to see overnight tonight. Honestly, this is my biggest concern as we head into the very early morning hours of Friday. These bands rotating in from time to time in overnight tonight. And that's when you can't see those tornadoes. So you're going to need to really watch out overnight tonight. That's when you need your ABC News 4 weather app, and that's when you need the NOAA weather radio with an alarm, because that'll go off and let you know if there is a tornado warning. So Sonia, let's go back up here into Georgetown County, and there it is. In Georgetown County right there. That's our tornado warned thunderstorm right there, south and west of Georgetown. That continues to move off to the north and the west. There's our warning right through that area. The tornado warning, what time is that out until? So we've got that out until 6:15.
6:15, yeah.
They
and it's moving north at 35.
Yeah,
they shaved it back.
They shaved back a little bit of it, so it's crossing Highway 17 now. It's pretty much due west of Georgetown. So if you live closer to the Santee River, now you're in the clear. But if you're off to the west of Georgetown, you're still under the gun for this tornado as it pushes through central Georgetown County. Now, it's not a confirmed tornado, is it?
No, I have not seen anything about it. They have not sent it up. They have not pushed an update through.
So it is a radar indicated tornado, meaning we're seeing the spin in the atmosphere, and that's pushing right on through central Georgetown County right now. It has crossed Highway 17, so if you live right on Highway 17, you're in the clear right now. But north and west of Highway 17, this is where the bulk of that storm is. Places like Graves, Oak Grove, Bethel, Pleasant Grove, out toward Outland, Dunbar. These are the spots where you need to be in your safe place, right along Highway 51 there. Even back toward Highway 41 into Williamsburg County. So be aware. It's off to the north of Andrews at this point, so it's right in this area here, and I think the rotation is going to be right about there. That's where we're seeing that rotation pushing off to the north and west, locked right inside of that strong thunderstorm. So this is when you want to be in your safe place, away from the windows, on the ground floor of your house, in a small interior room. And the reason I say to get away from the windows is because a lot of times these tornadoes are small spin-up tornadoes, and what they do is they knock over some trees or some branches, and those branches get blown into your house. If they should happen to hit your window, that's going to shatter the glass and you could get injured. So please stay away from the windows. Very dangerous in a situation like this. So our thunderstorm will continue to move off to the north and west right there along Highway 17A, Highway 51.
They just pushed an update, so let's see. Remains in effect for Georgetown and East Central Williamsburg counties as of 5:54. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Graves or west of Georgetown, moving north at 25 miles per hour. But again, still a radar indicated tornado continuing to move north at 25 miles per hour.
Well, and Sonia, it's important to note as well that even if there's not a tornado occurring in this thunderstorm,
still winds.
There are going to be some gusty winds, winds that could be up over 75 miles an hour. So even a straight line wind gust of 75 miles an hour can certainly cause some tree branches to be blown down. That can also cause some trees to be knocked over. So we're going to be watching for that. And Sonia named Graves right there along Highway 521 as you head over towards 17A. So right around Graves.
some streets. So we've got Disher Street, Ports Creek Drive, Daffodil Drive, Gapway Road, Alma Street. So if any of those names, street names sound familiar, you need to be in your safe place now.
Absolutely, and that's right along Highway 521 through central Georgetown County, just off to the west of downtown Georgetown. There's Georgetown right there. 701 is right there, and Fraser Street takes you over this direction. So we're looking at that. Just off to the east of Kent. If you're in Kent, you should be in your safe place. Now, Andrews, you should be far enough away from the circulation that you're okay there. And even downtown Georgetown, you should be safe there, but just off to your west. Don't head on 521 at this point right now. Wait until this thunderstorm passes through. And it is moving through very quickly. As Sonia said, it's moving about 35 miles an hour. So it's going to be in and out very quickly. Even the folks that live along Highway 17, you're now in the clear. See that rotation now up around Graves, crossing Highway 521. So it's moved past Highway 17 as you come from Georgetown on down toward the Santee River and Charleston. So that rotation has pushed north and west of Highway 17.
Yeah, control room can take max 2, Dave. I've got the velocity up.
Okay.
So then you can show, so you can see it better there.
And there it is.
I mean, it's definitely broader.
It is very broad right there, but you can see the greens and the reds very close together. And when you get the greens and the reds close together, what the radar is actually measuring here are the raindrops and their direction inside of the thunderstorm. So some of those raindrops are going toward the radar, which is up in Wilmington. Some are going away from the radar. So that's where you're seeing that rotation right in there, right on top of Highway 521 from Moyd on up toward Graves, and just getting ready to cross Highway 521, moving off to the north and the west. It is just off to the east of Bethel, but if you do live in or near Bethel, I say it's better to be safe than sorry. Stay away from those windows. Get into the safe place on your ground floor. A place like a coat closet, a place like a powder room, a room that does not have windows and that is on the ground floor. Also, have that ABC News 4 weather app ready to go. Sonia's got some of the good places to go, and you don't want to go upstairs in your house. What you want to do is go to the lowest floor interior room. Now, unfortunately, we don't have basements here, so if you do have a powder room or a laundry room on the ground floor, that's where you want to get. You want to get out of mobile homes. You need to get into a safe structure, a house or a building, not a mobile home. Get out of your cars, and if you have to, lie flat in a ditch, but try to get to a sturdy structure nearby. So ground floor, if you can get under the steps, I know my house, there's a powder room underneath the stairs. That's exactly where I would be if I wasn't right here in this room talking to you. But that's where you want to be, small interior room. So that's a good place to go. Upstairs, not the best. Sonia, anything else?
Nothing new right now. If they want to go over back to max 1, we're bouncing it back and forth, but I've got the velocity scope there over for you. So
just off to the west of downtown Georgetown.
Yeah, yeah.
So there it is. There's that rotation, the greens and the reds. And like Sonia said, it is rather broad. When you have broad rotation, that means it's probably not making it all the way down to the ground. It's when you see those real tight rotations that you get that circulation that comes all the way down to the ground and produces a tornado. But, excuse me. We do want to make sure that as this storm passes off to the north and the west, that you're aware of the possibility of tornadoes. Even if there's not a tornado, it could be producing winds over 75 miles an hour, and that's strong enough to do damage. That's strong enough to knock off tree branches. That's strong enough to knock trees over. And that could break the windows in your house, and that could cause some damage. So stay away from those windows. Small interior room. This is Highway 521 coming west out of Georgetown. Meets up with 17A there. Heads on over toward Highway 41, right around Jamestown, just off to the north of Jamestown there. There's Andrews. So between Andrews and Georgetown, that's not where you want to be right now. That's where we do have the rotation with this thunderstorm moving off to the north and west. So we are looking at that continuing until 6:15. We're right at 6:01 now. So we're going to be looking at the possibility of this tornado continuing a little bit farther to the north and west. So Sonia, what else is going on there?
Yeah, let's see. So yeah, just looking at that rotation, I guess we can, let me turn this off and we're going to go back and look at some street names maybe here. So again, as it continues to move off toward the north, it looks like it might be moving a little bit slower now. Originally it was moving off toward the north at 35. Now it looks like it's moving off toward the north at about 25 miles per hour. So as we kind of zoom in, again, we talked about the community of Graves. So as it kind of drifts off toward the north, some of the streets in that area, Garrison Road, Gapway Road, headed up toward Johnson Road, eventually up toward Lanes Creek Drive possibly. So if any of these streets sound familiar, again, you need to be in your safe place. Michael Court, Johnson Road, Trey Avenue, just trying to name some of the streets in that area. Again, if any of these sound familiar, you need to crank up the TV, as Dave said, get in your safe place. Again, whether that's a pantry, a laundry room, a bathroom. But again, be in that safe place. You can hear us, and then we'll give you the all clear when it is safe to go. But this storm could produce a tornado. Again, we don't have any confirmation, but you have to play it safe and be in your safe place just in case.
Now, Sonia, I do think we can give the all clear for a few folks here right along Highway 17 off to the south of Georgetown. So Highway 17 south of Georgetown, it's safe for you to come out right now. And this is another key note. If there is damage in your area, do not attempt to go out and survey it. What you need to do is immediately call 911. Get the authorities out there. They will get the right people out there to clean up the damage. The problem is a lot of times power lines get knocked over. And when those power lines are down, you don't see them. And with those power lines laying on the ground, if you come into contact with it and it's live, that's not going to be a good day. So make sure to call the authorities if there is damage in your area. Make sure that they clean it up. Make sure that you stay out of that damage. So it does still look like there's some rotation right there. It looks like it is crossing over top of Highway 521 now through central Georgetown County, and very broad indeed. It does look like this storm is expanding out a little bit, and that would probably indicate that there's not a tornado making it all the way to the ground, but let's pretend there is just in case. So thunderstorm with a possible tornado moving through central Georgetown County between Andrews and Georgetown. If that's where you live, you need to be in your safe place. Pretty much south of Highway 521, things are looking much better at this point. And that latest scan that just came through there, Sonia, it seems to have taken a lot of the rotation away.
Yeah, it's very broad.
So maybe a little bit in this area right here, but I wouldn't say a whole lot. Due east of Andrews, a little bit north and west of Georgetown. Yeah. But even there,
right
it's pretty tough to pick out. So possibly still a little rotation left in there. But make sure you're in your safe place. If you live from Highway 521 there off to the north up toward the Williamsburg and Georgetown County line along Highway 51, right around Dunbar. Lanes Creek there. So this is the area where that thunderstorm is moving choppy. This storm is going to continue to move to the north in your direction, moving very quickly, so you don't have a whole lot of time to react. That's why you need to be ready. Anyone in the low country needs to be ready, especially overnight tonight, because I think we're really going to be under the gun from about midnight until about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I know the tornado watch is only out until 9 o'clock this evening, but I have an inkling that that is going to be extended later tonight because we are in the northeast quadrant of Hurricane Helene. And we're not getting the direct impacts of Hurricane Helene, but on the northeast side, these rain bands come in off the Atlantic Ocean. And as those rain bands come in, they start to rotate. And there's even another one down here off to the south near Jacksonville. And this is the one that I'm going to be watching for later tonight. Sonia, that one really kind of concerns me a little bit. And that would be coming in here probably about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the ones, and those are closer to the center of the storm. So those are really trying to wrap themselves back into the center of the storm. So as they do that, they really start to spin, and a lot of these thunderstorms are going to end up with tornado warnings. So the tornado watch is not only here in South Carolina, it's in Georgia, It's in Florida. So
Yeah,
this is a large tornado
let's
watch.
turn this off, shall we, for people, because
Just to show the size and the scope.
Right, and just how much. And you know, you talked about it's in effect until 9 p.m. But you know, they typically only issue them for what, you know, 8 to 10 hours at a time, and then they reissue it. And so we've been talking about that. We're very concerned. But I mean, look at these. In effect for Florida.
Well, Sonia,
so I mean, these are only going until 8 p.m. So you know they're going to extend these.
And the watch for us came out at 7:30 this morning. This is over 12 hours.
Oh yeah, 12 hours.
And we're going to be talking about this for another probably 12 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're really watching very closely.
Right.
So there we are.
So we'll go back to the one.
Tornado warning still in central Georgetown County. So we are seeing that rotation there in central Georgetown County, moving from Highway 521 up toward Highway 51. That's going to continue until 6:15. Right now we're sitting at 6:07, so about another 8 minutes. So chances are that the tornado has dissipated. These are very brief tornadoes. Usually they're on the ground for about 1 to 3 minutes. And then they lift back up or they dissipate. But even though that happens, we still have the gusty winds within those thunderstorms. So there could be winds gusting up around 75 miles an hour right there.
Yeah, it's broad.
Definitely.
It's broad.
So
which is good. We like to see that.
Yes.
We like to see that.
So that indicates the thunderstorm is probably weakening just a little bit. Getting a look outside, and I believe that is Georgetown, the camera that you're seeing right there. So this would be off to the east of where that circulation is. That's right in downtown Georgetown on the Winyah Bay. So if you're familiar with Georgetown, that's where you're looking right now. So we are looking at the heavy rain.
Yeah, and you know, watching these cells here, you know, making their way, they're going to clip northern Charleston County here in a little bit, southern Georgetown County. Not necessarily seeing any rotation, but they're going to pack a little punch, some heavy rain, some lightning.
The one right at the mouth of the Santee River is pretty nasty right now. So, and
I'm trying to look at the rotation. And there is a little bit of rotation with some of these off the ocean, so we'll have to watch. I mean, that's
a nasty storm right there. So, and that's going to track right over the same exact ground where our tornado warning is right now. So the tornado warning is out right here. Pretty much, if you're south of Highway 521 now, you're in the clear. So north of Highway 521, we're still looking at that tornado warning. So
they've also issued a flash flood warning. Yeah. So until 10 p.m. for Georgetown and Williamsburg counties.
So flash flood warning through this area that's picked up the heavy rainfall. So most of us not looking at a real big flash flooding concern. Rain is not a huge concern with this storm system. In fact, it's been very dry recently, and we can use about 2 to 3 inches of rain like this storm. Sorry, a little tickle in the throat today.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking better and better, Dave. I mean, just a broader rotation in general, so that is certainly good news.
And it's lifted off to the north of Highway 521 there, so it continues to move.
Yeah, it's right around here.
It continues to move up toward Highway 51 into Georgetown County, so we'll continue to watch that push off to the north and northwest.
Seeing if there was any other updates here. Nothing besides the flash flood warning.
So there's Highway 521. If you're south of that, things are looking good now, except for that next thunderstorm that's about to come in off the ocean. Fortunately, there's not a tornado warning out on that. There could be, but at this point, there is not. And here, for most of us, see this little break in the rain here through central Berkeley County, down through much of Charleston into Dorchester and Colleton County. This is a break, and we're going to see a pretty good lull this evening. Every once in a while, 1 or 2 thunderstorms could come in off the ocean, but the real steady rain in that first band that's moved through, it's pushing farther off to the north. So the places still watching that first band are northern Charleston County, extreme northeastern Berkeley County, Georgetown and Williamsburg County. This is going to continue its trek up toward the Grand Strand, and then we'll get this little bit of a lull. See how things are much drier. Walterboro, even Beaufort, there are a couple showers and thunderstorms on the coast toward Edisto Beach, but this is not as steady as what we were seeing a little bit earlier. So we'll watch these showers and thunderstorms come in off the ocean, but it's not going to be as steady as that first line that we saw through. What are you seeing over there, Sonia?
I was just seeing how the rotation looked over there, and it's again very broad. very, very broad, which is good. Let me see if I can see how.
Is that with the thunderstorm that's right at the mouth of the Santee
Yeah,
River?
do you want to see that? If they can switch over to, if you guys can switch over to Max 2 for Dave.
So
See that right there?
right there, right in there. So,
So
maybe a little, but again,
Yeah, it's
not a whole lot to
pause
look
it.
at right there. Maybe a little out over the
there's a
ocean,
little
even
couplet
farther.
over the ocean, yeah.
So-
We'll see. But otherwise, not looking
No,
too
unless
worrisome.
that really wraps itself up there.
Yeah, it's.
But at this point, it looks fairly broad. But yeah, the greens and the reds real close together. But at this point, that
I
doesn't
mean, look
look
at how
too
broad
bad.
this is. You know, this is
Yeah,
very good news.
This is the area we're looking at, and we should be just about done with that
yeah.
tornado warning.
So let's see. Let me see if they have anything else
So
here.
if you're south of Highway
Okay,
521.
they did expire the tornado warning.
Okay, so now anywhere in Georgetown County, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So I told you to turn up the TV in your safe room so you could hear us, and now the all clear is given. But that doesn't mean get outside immediately and try to clean things up. Call the authorities if there is damage in your area, and if it's safe to do so, send any pictures to us, maybe from your porch. Just don't go out into it because power lines could be down and it's very dangerous to head out into that damage. So call the authorities. They know what to do. They're skilled at cleaning up the damage. So right now, tornado warning has expired. Few showers and thunderstorms left to come through with this first batch, but there are many more batches to come, and we are still under that tornado watch until 9 p.m. We're going to go ahead and maybe take a little bit of a break right now, and we'll return with a little bit more of ABC News 4 at 6 coming up right after this.